Hey guys, Ethan here once again with another laptop review. Today we're looking at yet another MSI laptop, which is the MSI Venture A14 AI Plus. This laptop's been advertised by MSI as a workhorse for our business and home users out there. So today we'll be running through all the categories such as build quality, specs, task benchmarking, and other aspects to see what this laptop is capable of and if it's worth it for you as an everyday workhorse device. Sit back, relax, let's dive in. First up, the unboxing is quite a simple one. You simply open the box and lift the first cardboard layer, and you're greeted with a laptop. There's also a side panel you can lift up, which will give you a 90-watt charger adapter with a region plug. The build quality of the laptop is super sleek with hardly any plastic finishings on the side. I can feel that the laptop itself has a really rigid and durable design, most likely built from a light aluminium alloy. MSI definitely made this type of design really modern and professional, since they had the assumption that people purchasing this would have it set up in either an office or home environment. I mean, I wouldn't be expecting this sort of laptop to have insane neon-cat RGB lighting and such. However though, in saying that, they have actually implemented a clean white colored LED backlight on the keyboard to ensure that you'll easily be able to see no matter what the lighting scenario is. The panel is also something special, which is a 2.8K resolution screen with a refresh rate of 120 Hz and a panel type that's OLED. This is personally one of my favorite parts of the entire laptop, since they've managed to squeeze in this many high caliber specs in this panel into relation to how much you're paying for. I definitely tip my hat off to MSI in this area. You also only have a select two 2-watt speakers on the sides. They're not too incredible, they're quite normal sounding, but nothing too special. They do, however, pack a decent punch for what they are. The mouse pad as well is quite large, ensuring you'll easily be able to navigate your cursor without the hassle of running out of pad space. But if you're still a mouse user at heart, you'll still be able to easily connect one up to either Bluetooth or via USB connection. This also brings me to the ports of this device. On one side, you've got an audio combo jack, USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-C port that supports vision, charging, and data transfer, one USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type-A port, HDMI 2.1 for support for up to 4K to 60 Hz, and a DC in. On the other side, you have another USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type-A port, an RJ45, and a Kensington lock. All these ports ensure a wide variety of expandability in case you'd like to make this a more permanent setup in your office or home, for example. The specs, on the other hand, are quite powerful comparatively to the size of this thing, to be honest. Starting off, you have the NPU, which is the Ryzen AI 7 350. This is a Zen 5 architecture processor, which has 8 cores and 16 threads with a max boost clock of up to 5 GHz and a default TDP of 28 watts. This also carries 50 NPU tops for neural AI tasks, which I'll actually be excited to test a little bit later in the video as well with Geekbench AI. MSI decided to chuck this processor into this laptop specifically to ensure a powerful enough NPU to complete complex business-graded tasks whilst also being power efficient and smart with task distribution. The laptop also comes with two 8GB sticks for a collective 16GB of DDR5 SODIMM RAM clocked at 5600 MHz, which can actually be upgraded to a max amount of 96GB. The storage as well is quite normal, which is 512GB of Gen 4 SSD, but technically you can upgrade this part as well, but you'll either need to know how to reload or clone the existing OS onto your new SSD in order for this to work, since it only unfortunately comes with one slot. But if you're not too sure, I definitely recommend bringing it into a certified laptop repair and get them to do it instead. Specs out of the way, I went ahead and did a couple of tests on certain aspects of this laptop, and I'm pretty excited to tell you guys the results for some of them. For obvious reasons though, this isn't a gaming orientated laptop, so we won't be doing any graphic related tests, but instead focusing more on what business users would primarily use. First up though is the webcam and native microphone. First, the webcam is only a basic 720 resolution with 30 FPS, but the software features this comes with really bring this camera up to professional standards. First up, you have Windows Hello, which uses facial recognition to log into your device, which adds another layer of security to your laptop in case you have sensitive business information that only you have access to. But if you, however, don't want the fuss in relation to someone infiltrating your webcam, MSI have also included a privacy shutter, which people will find super assuring for personal security. Alright, so this is the quality of the webcam, and obviously you can hear the microphone as well. It's not too bad when it comes to the quality. Obviously, like I said, it's 720 at 30 FPS. You're not going to get the absolute amazing best quality out of it, but like I said, there are some features on here that can help with increasing the quality up to professional standards, for example. In your settings here, you've got your 720p 30 fps, which is the highest resolution. You also have your flicker reduction, so that's quite good in terms of any lights where you see flicker in your offices or at home. You can see if you can switch between the both of them here to see which one actually helps best. So I did say Windows Hello, so that's actually used for when you actually log into the laptop, so that actually helps with security. It also has a privacy shutter. I'll just do it now. Literally can't see anything. It doesn't just cover the webcam, but it also recognizes it via software. Obviously you can see here, so you enable it again, there's that. So you've got automatic framing, you've also got eye contact, background effects as well. You can do standard blur, you can do portrait blur. Video capabilities is quite good. We also wanted to test the battery life expectancy for the device on basic video playback. I essentially did video playback at 4K for an hour and wanted to get the results of the battery percentage of the device. The results are decreased down to 80%. That's close to around 0.33% per minute, which also equates to a rough calculation of about 5 hours of 4K video playback before the laptop reaches critical low battery. So in the end, not too bad at all for a business laptop. I also decided to give it a heat dissipation test to see how good the thermals were for this laptop. I tested it out with OCCT and found it to be quite impressive with the results. Using both a thermal dot reader and thermal imaging, you can see at the front area of the laptop, temperatures only reach to about 42 degrees Celsius, which is very normal for a laptop of this size and thickness. Turning to the back though, you can see that the heat is being dissipated from mostly the right-hand side. This is most likely because that's where the CPU is located, and the RAM, along with its thermal heat pads. Overall, the heat dissipation of this particular model is really good, but for obvious reasons, this is whilst I'm stressing every single component to its absolute fullest potential. So to be honest, you won't be seeing these temps on a normal basis. So you don't have to worry about burning holes in your fabric materials. Next up, I wanted to test the AI capabilities of the NPU. For this test, we used Geekbench AI. The results are actually the lowest out of the laptops we've tested so far, but I can't really compare them since the last two we've tested had higher end NPUs. In saying that, with a business-oriented laptop, it's a decent result, especially for the price that you'll be paying for. Overall, this laptop with its single, half, and quantized results have shown me that you can still achieve good AI-related tasks, but not in relation to high caliber and complex work. So pretty good. On the software side of things, there are a couple of pretty decent applications to help you manage your laptop, which includes AI as well. Firstly, the obvious one is the new MSI Center S. This software you might have heard of from our previous reviews, but we have to emphasize once again how functional this software actually is, and it's always impressive to look at. With this software, you'll be able to monitor all of your laptop component statistics like your NPU, disk, and memory usage percentages. You'll also have easy access to AI Engine, which if any of you haven't heard of, it's essentially an AI-based sub-software that automatically adjusts your hardware settings to achieve the best performance in your scenario. In simple terms, you'll never need to worry about individually setting a user profile for your laptop, although this laptop has that feature anyway in the software. Other features this software has is driver and BIOS updating. This makes the user have really simple access to doing these tasks, since updating a BIOS in the past was a little complicated to your basic computer user. Other small features are included in the software, but I just wanted to highlight the biggest ones you'll be touching the most. We ended up plugging in all this data into this chart and have come to a collective point system of 90 out of 100. Heat dissipation, human-centered design, and especially AI performance ranked higher than everything else on this list within the category of business and laptop models. Really, the only downside for us though was product appearance. Although there was no shortage of high quality components to create this product, we do however find this design to be nothing special. It seems like they didn't go too far for inspiration from their modern series laptops. Their human-centered design, or in other words the ergonomics of it, feels very comfortable and not intrusive when it comes to carrying it around anywhere. Overall though, this is a very high score for a business grade laptop, and I definitely recommend a model like this to someone that's running a business or working from home. In conclusion, this laptop is a must when it comes to having something that is really reliable, robust, sleek, and practical. FPPC definitely recommends something like this if you're looking at a device where you don't want to spend a whole heap of money, but still get something that feels a lot more expensive than it was. Besides that, we hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Catch you later.